Now it's getting very hot here because I got to start a new video in English. So uh, once the time you start the video, and by the time you end the video, it gets real warm. Okay, and I have my coffee with me. 2016. It's not very legible, but now it's showing the gold going up in 2016 from 1276 to 1292. Now it's at 2045. Okay, so in 2016 and 2023, this was 9 years ago. Okay, so it doubled, basically. It doubled in 10 years. Is that bad? No, I don't think so. It's good. Yeah, I mean, because I don't invest just from 2016 and 2040. You know, it's not a straight line. Investing is not a straight line. When prices go down, I buy more. That's called dollar cost averaging. Okay, so you buy when it drops to, let's say, 1,100. It goes up. You keep buying, so you keep an average. And just to tell you, recently, not going back to 2016, only last year, this time, December, November, it just ended yesterday. We saw gold ounce price $1,650. Right now it's $2,050. So that's how you benefit. You keep buying, selling, buying, and you make an average, let's say around 1,800, 1,700, whatever, depending on how long you want to keep this insurance for. And then if you make above 7-8%, that's the gold and silver average for 15 years. That's a good enough income for to meet, let's say, general stock indices. You may find individual stocks that make a lot more, but you can find individual houses you buy with mortgage a lot more than all of them. So but we are talking general conditions, because it's a very rare case that you will pick that famous stock and stick with it for 20 years and 30 years. So it's not very usual unless you are the boss. Okay, then you buy it. Okay, then you may live with it. So today we have a couple of topics, some remaining from yesterday. The US numbers of, let's say, jobless claims, that's called, not people are receiving jobless benefits, that's another name. That was expected to be 220,000, and 218,000 came. This is a very slight difference, not a big difference. Also, their price of consuming prices were as expected for these people. Today there was a PMI number which is lower than expected, which means there is a slight chance of recession. Everything in US markets now is priced based on, is Fed going to stop rate hikes? And further, how soon Fed will start decreasing the rates? Because rates are not the real problem for investors. Because when the real problem is like 1%, 2%, what difference does it make? I mean, if you're paying an interest rate of 7.5, 5.5, 6.5 doesn't really matter much. But what matters is when Fed really starts, not mentioning, decreasing rates. Each time this happened in the past with an inverted yield curve, like now, when 30-year-old bonds and 2-year bonds are inverted, normally long-term should be very high interest paying, so people will buy long-term ones for a better benefit. But now short-term is giving much more than long-term, so that's called inverted yield, interest yield field. Yield. So when this is called inverted, and when Fed decided to cut the rates, each time it was followed by a big drop in the stock exchange. Okay, and because the Fed was not decreasing the rates due to, okay, let's ease the market now. No, things went too bad. They caused a big recession while trying to avoid inflation or stop inflation. They caused a huge recession because uh, all the measures that take are they come with a lag, time lag. Okay, so that's why they keep increasing 20%, 25, 50 basis point, 25. They might have just well increased it quickly from 2% to 6, 7, 5, whatever. Why didn't they? Because they know it's coming with a lag. So they may have done overdo, if they go too far. But I think with this, there are also signs of overdoing, not just the interest rate. I think that's secondary. The main thing is they have not been printing money, and they have been cutting about $1 trillion in the base monetary base, let's say monetary base, monetary expansion. So that is causing more effects because the less the money in liquidity in circulation, uh, the US people feel that it's a bit complicated for economic understanding, but banks normally park their money at the Fed at nighttime. Okay, this is called reverse repo. Like they are lending their money to central bank, saying, "I don't want to give loans. Just keep this for me and pay me interest to central bank." Now this went up to $2 trillion, until recently. Right now, the banks are using this facility backwards, taking that liquidity, and we are we are expecting it to finish all that money in their repo facilities within 2 months. By February or March end, it will be finished. So liquidity crisis will explode. That's why everybody is betting on March. Why March? Not why not February? Why they are expecting the recession to deepen in March? That's the main reason. Okay, because repo money is finishing at Fed. So then there will be a big liquidity crisis, so that Fed will have to end this procedure, no matter where the interest rates are at that moment, or they have to come with something different from the hat, a new tool. They have to find a new tool. The old tools don't work anymore. So right now, when we are investing for the future, there is an adage saying that uh, remember to buy in November, sell in May, go away. So we have that much time left, and now we are about the Christmas, let's say, rally, or Christmas time is coming. We are already in December. Tomorrow is the 2nd. So until the 25th of December, normally a Christmas rally has been observed. So these are just like fortune telling, but looking at the statistics and fortune telling. So after that, when comes the January, or let's say February, now everybody will be scared. Okay, they'll be very scared, all investors. So with this scare, even they may cause the recession in the stock exchange. When stock exchange falls deeply, in all cases, Fed drop the rates. So it's either one. First, the stock exchange will collapse, or they'll run out of liquidity facilities, and system will collapse at that time. Uh, of course, when you give somebody a business, if you tell your policeman, how safe is the, if he cannot say it's not safe out there, I would go out there if I were you, and he's responsible for the safety. So you gave the government treasury and money and control to a group of people which didn't exist before. Central banks didn't exist all the time. It's a novelty idea, not to save the people, to save the banks. Okay, that's why it's a central bank. It's a bank of banks. In case the economy goes in trouble, people rush to the banks. Central bank is the one that prints and gives them money, just like they did during the Silicon Valley and during that season, as you remember. So They opened up a new facility. Well, they find names. That's easy. They create easy names, for these facilities. But the result is same. The burden always comes on the public through taxes or through inflation. Okay? They just use the tool. You pay for the results of the tool yourself. So by going this far, uh, I like to mention another issue, not related with this one. We have a big problem in Turkish banks where one lady in a bank branch took millions and millions of dollars from soccer players, and there is still a big secret behind it because they all brought this money in big bags, plastic bags, huge amount for $5 million. So it's also questioned: are these money really belonging to them, or how did they receive this billions of dollars to take it to this bank? So this lady eventually had very good relations with the soccer team uh, group, let's say their coach and everyone for years. So the coach, she said, I'll give you such a good interest, like 250% in US dollars. And soccer players, suckers believed, because they are soccer players, these suckers. So they believed and gave their money. And she actually lost some money and she needed some money, but she was in a bank branch authorized. She took this money personally. So this is still going on issue in Turkey. Why was it given? Was she alone? Is there a big group of people behind it? Are there politicians behind it? This is still argued. It's not my channel's point, but my channel's point is this. I ran many companies, international Fortune 500 companies, at a high level manager, as a high level manager. So we've been through this kind of situations, and we have rules for this. And so I want to go through these rules. I mentioned them in my Twitter account. Number one, if you have a very hard worker that doesn't take annual leaves, that just keeps working, and then he's essential because he cannot even go on an annual leave. Maybe 1 day, 2 day, weekends, even at lunchtime he's working. He's a very dangerous person. Okay, so you must definitely, I'm not saying he is, you must definitely give him 4 weeks annual leave. Okay, because while he's away, if he's correcting things or if she's correcting things, because when she's there she can control things, then she's avoiding them to be found out by chance. But if she goes on leave for a month, and other people doing, what happened to this, so they can find out. A second thing, these are also long working hours, all continuously, not in a very short term. That's dangerous. So we have a belief that you may just think, all our workers are clean people. There will not be any cheap or cheat people to whatever steal the money of the company. It's assumed out of every 50 person, if you have 50 personnel working for you, it's a statistically approved issue that one of them is a thief. Okay, so if you have 500, you have 5 thieves. So you must set up your system. Nobody is eligible like this. Everybody is cross-checked. In companies I go, I see the same person keeping the cash box and also the cash records. This is very wrong. Same person should not keep the cash and the cash book. Okay, somebody must cross-check him, and time to time, without letting him know, you must count what's in the cash. If there is big amount of money, of course. If there is small amount of money, you may not have to worry. Uh, Another thing is, like, this is at a low level in the company, low level business, let's say management. But at higher level, I seen all these. I seen all these in different companies. General manager, huge company with 500 branches, okay, you must never give him the authority as a board chairman. Somebody should not be both the chairman of the board and the general manager, because they cannot check on each other, because he is the chairman of the CEO and he is also the general manager doing the day-to-day operations. So don't let this happen. Every time, everybody's job should be double signature, cross check. Okay, okay, they may agree, these two people, then at least you can have two teams accepting some action. These actions may not 100% avoid corruption, but you can reduce it extremely. Like I used to ask for annual, monthly counting of stocks, if not daily, depending on where you are. Monthly minimum, you should make physical count at your store. You may think it's impossible, it's going to take too long time. Just take samplings, make 20 samples, okay, and then check those stocks, because it's a big problem in department stores, and other stores where you buy your weekend supplies. There are huge losses up to 2%, and you will always blame the customers are stealing it. You may have your own personnel stealing them. Okay, I know in some back areas they are checking the purses and everything, but for if they are stealing any cosmetic stuff, things like that. But this is at a small level, but it's just to scare off people that there is some sort of control. Okay, not what would it worth, just one small lipstick, this and that. So uh, you may unofficially at any time make this abrupt controls counts. Okay, like I used to run a Subway store, franchise, and we had to count the bread and everything. Not that it's going to be stolen, but to give correct accounting, because somebody may just sell from the cash register without pressing the cash buttons, and give it to his friend maybe. And then we were counting the amount of breads, amount of handkerchiefs used. Okay, so that's why you only give two handkerchiefs for one customer. Why are you so cheap? Why don't you give me more? So they may count the handkerchiefs to find out if things are being stolen or not. So this counting, physical counting, always proved to be bringing out the main problem. Unless you do physical counting, just take the numbers on the computer as correct, you will get huge differences, okay, when you physically count them. So make sure, stop at night, stop whenever, but make physical counts. Don't make the same personnel count it, okay? You must, like if you have different 5 stores, you must exchange the store personnel, and the new personnel should count the stocks. Otherwise, you are giving the chicken coop to the fox, okay? Control of the chicken coop. So these are main rules, because why I'm mentioning this thing happened in Turkey because she's been doing this for years. She has great confidence. She is the only one contacting these important customers. So she's not taking a leave, this and that. So it's all arranged. Now, after so many years, I'm 68. Even if I go somewhere and just spend a day, I can tell, where the problem is. Even the boss doesn't know, okay? Because just by looking at their personnel records, who are not going on leave, who are taking their leave, who are taking continuous leaves. They don't even want to come. They are lazy. Okay, that's okay. They are no problem. Hard workers are a big problem. Probably that's why they decided not to give the working retired person in Turkey the 5,000 TLs. Okay, why are they working? There must be a problem. Anyway, of course, that's a joke, but this is the reality of the working environment of even biggest companies. Okay, so I just wanted to mention this. You may be running a company, or you may just be running a department working for someone. So don't miss counting physical. Okay, count physical by yourself. Don't let it counted by the staff who works there. This is very important. Always cross check, okay? Don't give same responsibility of writing the books, keeping the cash, okay, to the same person. uh, Also, even at top level, general manager, because what will a general manager do? You won't believe what I lived, you won't believe, because uh, he makes such big agreements that he can make another chain store outside of his paid companies. So you must count them. So you must control them. You must not give them all the authority, even if he's a general manager, not a store, company general manager I'm talking about, okay? Don't give him all the authority. Anyway, but your money's authority is you. So if you're cheating, you are cheating your own self. So that's what I'm mostly telling people, how to control your money. Don't And there are big cheaters on your money, more than 50% per capita, because there is an inflation, people printing money, and they are stealing your purchasing power with your eyes open, okay? And they are stealing your money. Can you prevent it? You cannot, but you can in one way. If they are stealing the money, you must get a loan, so that with the inflation, as you know, the purchasing power of money is coming down. Your loan should also be coming down. Like if you have a 50,000 US dollar loan, let's say, was payable 3 years ago, you wouldn't even recognize this without even the interest payments you make monthly. That's different. Principal and interest, you pay monthly. You are not aware of this yet. You will be aware in 2 years. You already made 25% on that house. Although the price looks like a loss right now, you already made 25%. Why? Because when you're paying for that loan, your salary will go up 25% in 2 years, and the house prices will recover once these interest rates, let's say Fed succeeds sometime next year, another year, doesn't matter. House prices will go up, when the mortgage rates come down to 4-3%. There will be so much demand. For every 1% interest reduction, 10% house prices will go up. So if they come 4%, expect a 40% hike. And this comes with, of course, inflation, as a result of inflation. So if you didn't make any money on a house today, don't think you made a very bad decision. Right now, same is happening in Turkey. Today, in the apartment, I have investment houses. Some friends sold their houses. I didn't even ask for how much, because I don't care. I won't sell my house at it. This is time to buy, not to sell. And unfortunately, I see hundreds of pages of people selling. Not that they hate the houses, not that they hate the renters and tenants and this and that. The big problem is this: they owe the banks so much commercial loans, not the home loans. They have to sell their houses to pay off commercial loans. Today, the commercial loans in Turkey went suddenly up to 50-55%, which was only 15-20%, just until recently, 6 months ago. How are these zombie companies now going to pay these loans with the 50-55%? Big bankruptcies are on the way. Big layoffs are on the way. Uh, After election, I expect somehow these things will be delayed for another 3-4 months, but then we'll see the hell of Turkey. Okay, and a lot of people will lose their job, because if their boss goes bankrupt, they are also jobless. So be ready for this after April, May. Okay, don't spend your money on let's say Happy Friday, Merry Christmas, Christmas sale, Cyber Monday, Cyber Sunday. In US, recession, if recession also hits US, it's not, I don't unfortunately, it looks like they're going to be at the same time. Around April, May, you will see if it's a soft landing or very hard landing. You will find out overseas. in Turkey, we'll also find starting April, May, June, July, things will get like a disaster. That's why they are passing rules to banks that if some companies are failing their payments, they have delayed it to close the accounts with them. Because there's an election coming, so they know what's coming. A big meteoric explosion is coming, so they just want to delay it so that it happens. They have 4 years after the local elections. Maybe they are thinking of correcting things. In two years, big damage will be slightly corrected. Let's say until the end of the fourth year, new election, things may get at least like people quick. Forget quick. They have fish. Fish. I wouldn't say remembrance. Okay, they are all Alzheimer's and disease. They like to be like that. They want to forget things. So they are not like elephants. Elephants never forget. Okay, so they have amnesia. This is called amnesia. You forget something. Let me tell you a joke about amnesia before I close this video. Three very old people are just chatting, and one of them says, "Oh, this aging is terrible." One of them may be Kissinger, and the other one, this happened about a month ago. Charlie Munger, maybe. One of them says, "It's terrible to be old. I forget when I'm picking up the keys. Was I going out or did I just came in?" So they say, "Oh, that's bad." And the other one says, "I am even worse." Says, "What happens to you?" When I wear my pants, I suddenly stop and think, am I taking them out, down, or am I wearing them? I forget. So they say, "Oh, that's bad." The third one says, he's also old. He says, "Thank God, knock the wood. I have no problem. Who is there?" He knocks the door. He thinks the door is knocking. Okay. So they all have amnesia. So humans like to have amnesia. They like to forget the bad things. Just remember the good things. That's life is short, so let's keep happy type of an idea. But it's not always good to be so forgetful. Okay. You must take some lessons and don't repeat the same mistake. No problem making mistakes. Don't repeat the same mistakes. Okay, I wish you all a good night. I don't make English videos very often because it's been very busy. Some days I make 2, 3 Turkish videos on my Turkish channel. So in a few days, I'll probably make another English video as well. These are for training only. I don't care for money. That's why I don't ask you to like this and share this and that. In the other channel, I don't either. So, I don't like this begging type of situation that YouTube applies, like. So that's not my style. If people like it, they'll watch it. If they don't like it, they won't watch it. Fine. So I wish you all a very nice weekend. Okay. Tomorrow is Saturday, then Sunday. And we'll see us again. If something big doesn't happen on the weekend, we'll see us again in the new week. Have a nice day and have a beautiful weekend.